What's good, MBH family? Appreciate you guys tapping in to this episode. Merch is live. You guys know that already. I want to show you guys the merch a little bit, let you see it before you order it, because the order's been going crazy. First, we got the MBH podcast tee. Super dope. This one's gonna be a staple for sure. I'm rocking it right now. You can see super thick, good quality from LA. MBH monogram tee, same thing. Super heavyweight from LA. Good print. Just a solid one, you know? Not too much branding. You can rock this. Just super clean, super simple, straight to the point. And we have the same tee, but the white version. Again, same tee, super thick, super clean. Honestly, these are like my staples. Like I rock these all the time, just like super clean fits. And then truthfully, my favorite. Okay, you guys been seeing me rock. I've been rocking the burgundy one was a sample, but we wanted to drop the all black monogram hat. We got the old school MBH logo on the side, just for nostalgic purposes. This is gonna be our go-to, okay? This one you're gonna be able to find majority of the time. We'll probably switch up the colors and stuff, but we have to start with black, just the cleanest. It's a good fit, stunning quality. Merch is live, mbhtv.com. Hit merch, scroll down, blah, 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 blah. Boom, boom, boom. You see everything there. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys, appreciate all the love and support. Not much left, get yours now. And let's get to this episode.
Every time the government's, this is my opinion, but they talk about vulnerable communities. These people are vulnerable. And then those are the people that get brainwashed the most. Imagine you live with somebody and they just put shit around the house that you don't want to see. They start putting up fucking flags and you're like, I don't want to see these flags. And like, that's because you're a hateful piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way this isn't having a negative effect on like young men, young boys who are like in like, you know, going into grade 9 and all they see is gay.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to play on the hockey team.
I almost feel like it's like replacing like religion. It's like a fucking religion.
If I was 60 and I owned a fucking $3 million to $5 million house in Toronto,
Yeah.
like you can move anywhere and have a better place. Young men want to make money to fuck young women, and the women don't even care anymore because they're like, I'll just sell pictures of my feet.
I saw Andrew Schulz came to the show, and I was watching the little behind the scenes thing you guys posted on YouTube. I think like you should have had a cigarette counter in the bottom because you were just lighting them up. You were just going to town.
I know. I hadn't smoked all day, and then I was just kind of. When I'm at comedy, it's really hard to not smoke. I'll be honest with you. It's bad.
Yeah.
How'd that come to be though? Like did he hit you up? You hit him up? What was the situation?
How to become addicted to cigarettes? Or
That's a great question.
or how did I meet Andrew Schulz?
Both.
Andrew Schulz knows this guy named Tyler Morrison, who's a comedian. Shout out Tyler Morrison. He helped me with my first album, actually, getting it on Sirius XM. And he was opening for Andrew Schulz for a couple shows out in Windsor.
Okay.
Because before Andrew came to Toronto, I think he was in Windsor, London. He like went to a couple big casinos like Caesars and Windsor.
Yeah.
So he did like 2 5,000-person shows there.
Yeah.
And then Tyler texted me the night before my show and was like, Andrew Schulz is going to be in town. He wants to do spots. Can you do a spot at your show? I was like, yeah.
Of course.
But at first I made a joke about it being like, at first I was like, no. Right? Because I mean, well, that's funnier to say anyway. But it was kind of true because I was like, oh, fuck. Like I just spent a month and a half or like 2 months selling out the show.
Yeah. This was at Yuck Yucks, right?
It was at Yuck Yucks. It's like on an off night.
Okay.
Right? Because right now that's kind of how I'm operating is I'll be like, hey, do you have any off nights where I can do my own show and make proper money? As opposed, because their weekends are all taken up with like Yuck Yuck shows.
Okay.
Which is like their headliners or their...
And then what, they sign their own talent?
Like I'm a part of their roster,
Okay.
but now that I have, you know,
A
bit of draw, like we call it a draw when you can bring people out to a show.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have ACC 2 sold out shows, but...
Not yet.
But definitely on the way there.
Yeah.
And Andrew Schulz, it was cool that he stopped by. And basically, yeah, so Tyler was like, you want him to do it? I was like... Is he gonna do 45 minutes? Like, is he gonna do an hour? And I even joked with him about that in the green room with Andrew Schulz. I was like, he's like, I'm only gonna do 15. I'm like, okay, like a Chappelle 15 or
Yeah.
but he was cool. He actually only did like 20 or something. Like he didn't do like a crazy amount of time.
Okay.
Didn't like fuck up the show. But it was so I said to Tyler, yeah, of course you can come.
What do you
I don't care if he does 45 because then I can do 20. And I sold all the tickets.
They'll do 2 minutes, whatever. What do you think about how he's grown and him coming to the ACC, selling out, seeing all that?
Schulz is smart. He's popular. He knows how to be popular. He knows how to be famous. Like, I think that's part of it too. Like, a lot of comics don't even
What do you mean by that? Like, knows how to be famous?
Well, a lot of like some comics will get like views on a video, right? Or they'll have like a couple videos go viral. They don't know what to do with that. They don't know how to tell a story.
Okay.
And like kind of tell, show their fan base like this is like my progression and like get them involved with it. And like that's like real grassroots fan base shit, right? And not everybody knows how to do that. Or once they get a bit of a following, they'll like fumble it, right?
True.
And that's, I mean, I'm like, fuck, I didn't post today, or like I didn't post. But sometimes I do think there's something to be said for not just being in everybody's face 24/7.
Oversaturating yourself.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes like your real fans are like, where's the video? And then when it comes out, it pops more than if you're just posting like 8 videos.
You make them wait a little bit.
For you though, like we were talking about it, you did Jack Denmo's show here, probably 2 years ago now. And I remember, I think on the pod you said you had 3,300 followers. Now you're at 80K. So like it's been a fucking
Which
jump.
even at
crazy.
that number you should be at more too. But we know what happens with that.
Well, we'll get into that. But I'm curious, what do you attest that to? What was the difference from 3,300 to 80K?
Did I have 3,300 followers on Instagram?
Yeah, that's what you said.
That's crazy.
On the interview.
Oh, you guys rewatched it?
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, yeah.
Just being racist.
I don't
maybe?
remember. Yeah. Just have to be more racist. Wait, what's the question? What's the difference?
What got you there? Because that's not any, like, we understand that Instagram grind is fucking
I think
tough,
at that time
bro.
I had an account with 10K, and so I had a bit of like kind
You
of
did
a
mention
little
that.
following, and then I got the account deleted because I said something really crazy during like a BLM riot.
Okay.
Or like, because there was a BLM riot where they burned down a Target, and then there was like these protests in Canada where the anti-vax people were going to hospitals and they're like, fucking COVID's fake, and they're like going up to nurses and shit. And I was like kind of joking, but I made a joke. I was like, it was a picture of a tweet, and I was like, these protesters, don't they realize like this protesting doesn't work? You have to burn down a Target if you want to get like your something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, incitement of violence, delete.
And then you lost your IG.
I
for
lost
that?
my original Ben Bankas IG that way.
That's why you're 2 now.
Yeah,
Ben Bankas
I had
2.
another tweet that like before that got like flagged too, which was probably part of the thing. Like it was like happy 420 / Hitler's birthday, and they were like, that's
Holy
hate speech.
How the fuck are you coming up with this shit?
Because that's true. Like, you know that, right? That 420 is Hitler's birthday, which is
But you were just
hilarious.
putting it out there.
But I just was like saying it as a joke.
Yeah.
And that was like, yeah. So pictures of tweets can almost get you more trouble on Instagram than like other shit. But anyway, so what got me from that like restart was I went to, I got on Kill Tony, and got some followers from that. Like I got back to 10K from basically getting on Kill Tony and smashing Tony Hinchcliffe's show.
Yeah, no, that's
And,
I was gonna say, how'd that even happen? You just reached out?
No, it was like, it's like a free thing. Like you don't get paid for it or whatever, obviously, because I wasn't working there. And but it's like you can show up and put your name in a bucket, and they'll pull your name out of the hat.
And then you
Oh,
go
shit,
up.
okay.
And if they so I it took me like 7 weeks to actually get my name pulled, like of waiting there.
And you were just there every week,
Yeah.
just waiting. And then
Yeah.
you have you have a couple minutes to like make an impression or something, right?
You have 1 minute to do stand up,
Okay.
and then if you kill, then he'll like be nice to you, and if you bomb, he's basically like you're shit.
Your
Yeah.
shit,
And he brings
And then
people
he
back
just,
too,
like, talks
right?
to you like he'll like chirp your like life.
Yeah, he like suns you.
Yeah, they'll ask you questions like, so are you dating? Do you have a girlfriend? Like, what other jobs do you do? Like that kind of thing. Because a lot of the people who go on there are amateurs, right?
True.
But I mean, I wasn't an amateur, but I was basically like, there was no comedy in Canada at the time anyway.
Yeah.
It was complete lockdown and shit. So, but anyway, so the week before, I basically got on a different show. It's called The Secret Show, and they do it every Thursday in Austin. So they asked me to do that the night or the week before I got on Kill Tony, and like I smashed. I went up like last 10th, like after like Tony Hinchcliffe went on, like all these other like comics, like Red Band, whatever. And these like the guys who were on Kill Tony.
Yep.
What's his face? I don't know, the
They
red
bring Joe
guy.
Rogan on a lot too. right? They're bringing him on a lot recently.
Yeah, he wasn't on, but yeah.
I feel
so
like there's-
I got a
yeah.
following kind of that way, and just like making videos about what's going on and trying to be funny about it, because I think that everything's just really embarrassing right now and fun, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Do
You
people
know?
ever do people ever like call you out in the streets? Because the shit you do, like, listen, I think it's fucking hilarious. Like the Olivia Chow, like, dude, that shit, bro, that shit fucking kills me. And I actually agree with pretty much everything you say. but I feel like there's like, obviously, bro, look at the city we live in. You know what I mean? It's liberal as fuck, super left. So like the comedy you're putting out, I feel like you either love it or you just hate it.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about how many times you see like a Porsche in Toronto, like those every single, like, or nice cars, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that liberal of a city. It's liberal in certain ways. Like, we elected Olivia Chow because there's just more poor people than there are like people with money, because most people with money are conservative and poor people are liberal, right? And so, but poor people everybody fucking likes. Like, I really do have a weird thing, though, where rich guys, like, love my shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's sick, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, they, you know, they don't buy a lot of tickets or, like, whatever, but they'll be like, yo, you want to come golf or, like, some crazy shit?
True.
And then I just suck at golf there and make them make a video.
Literally.
But, yeah.
Have you ever been chirped in the streets, though?
Oh, chirped in the streets. I only had one time where somebody said something negative to me, and it was like a guy who was like admitting that he was a fan before. It was just some guy on the street, and he's like, "Oh, is that Ben Bankas?" I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he's like, "I don't know, man. Recently, it's too racist. I don't know." And I was like, "Don't fucking talk to me," and I just walked away from it.
Like,
I'm
have you heard of
terrified of
Theo
those
Vaughn
people.
before? Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he's on the race car. He's doing the race stuff.
I mean,
but he
like,
does it very. He does
people
it.
say it's
fucking joke.
racism. It's like they're just dumb. Like, they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't understand what the fuck I'm doing. It's comedy, and it's supposed to elicit something. Like, if you're pissed off, that means somebody else is laughing.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
basically, that's how it works. Like, you ever like piss off your buddy, and like he's pissed,
But then your boys
and
are laughing.
everybody's like, "Yo, this is so funny,"
Yeah.
because he's
He's
pissed off.
Yes.
Yeah, it's facts.
The
That's
best jokes
why
are-
it's funny. That's
Yeah.
why Olivia Chow thing was funny, because people were like, "How the fuck could you do this?" And it's just me with glasses and a fucking wig on, going,
Yeah.
oh. And it's just like, like, that's racism. It's like, is it, or is it just like honestly like dumb? Like, it's dumb humor that's funny because it's relatable.
Yep.
You know, it's not like fucking. You have to be a fucking PhD major to watch that and understand. No.
Yes.
You can,
Yeah.
you can be anybody and laugh.
I feel
and
like
that's that was simple as. It's like when you hear a good song. It's like, it's simple. You know what I mean? It's not like fucking.
I feel like it's like with that type of comedy, like it's a slower growth, but it's also like such hardcore fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
They either love you or fucking hate you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that recently. Like, it is a bit of a slower growth in some ways, but it's like a more consistent. Like, people love spending money to come watch me, and once they watch me, they're like, "Yo, this guy's fucking." Like, then they're like, "Yo, they're watching the podcast, they're watching whatever. They're just more, you know, especially if it's a great show."
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I agree with that. I think there's little jumps. I think it's more that there's a lot of people who would like my stuff that just don't know who I am.
True.
That if I was put on a pedestal or shown, like if I did Rogan or,
Yeah.
you know, even Rogan's pretty saturated. A lot, I don't know, but there's certain things that will happen and that just kind of bump you up.
Like
you
a
know?
good cosign. You get a nice cosign.
Yeah, like it would have been like Schulz obviously wasn't like, "Yo, Ben Bankas is sick, like fucking go follow him." That'd be cool.
True.
But I don't think I'm there yet in terms of like being in the States.
Do you?
know?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, did you ever think about just going to the States?
Well, I'm planning that.
Like a
I'm
full
planning
move?
it right. I wouldn't say that, but like I mean, at least having the ability to tour there. Because right now I could tour there. Like I could sell out like
was gonna
small, like 150 to 300 person venues.
Which is
in,
still
like,
good, though.
I could probably do like 6 cities to start
Okay.
and just like sell them out.
And
just,
as in comparison to here, you do better there.
I don't know about better, but it's just more places.
True.
I think their money's worth more, and people don't look at it like that when they see $40, they're like, it's $40. When we see $40, oh, it's $40. It's like this, we have the same mentality, but their money's worth more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts,
So you can just be like,
Fucking fact.
tickets are $60 Canadian. Canadians like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, $60. And then if it's $60 American, they're like, oh yeah, it's $60.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like this crazy thing we have. Canadians are really cheap too. Like they'll come to my show. They're like, oh, I'm not buying a shirt, you know, or like, oh yeah, I wouldn't subscribe. I don't do Patreon, but you know, there's just, whereas Americans are just like, yeah, this is my guy.
Yeah.
I'm giving him money. You know, I don't know. Americans have a different mentality with money and artists or supporting artists, and it shows. Look how quickly people can blow. I think if I was in the States doing the same kind of stuff, I might blow up more. But like, also, I'm not like people think I'm like super right wing, where I'm just like, but I'm like hateful or something. But it's like I'm not. I'm just like. I just a kid who grew up watching Mad TV and fucking South Park and all that shit, and then I'm watching what's happening and I'm talking about it as if the way that I grew up watching funny things talk about stuff.
Yes.
And
But I also think Canada gives you a fucking like a ton of fucking good material.
Canada, yeah.
Like
But you can even
Canada's-
talk about the Canada in the States.
yeah, to some extent.
Like
but
you can
I-
use
a
it as
little
a
bit.
joke.
to
You can
some
use it as
to
a
some
joke.
extent, but I feel like they
I mean,
also
the
just don't, they
States-
don't give a fuck about Canada.
No,
in the
because they
States,
got
bro.
enough problems too.
They don't know anything about Canada. They don't care about Canada. It's not interesting to them.
No.
And I don't blame them, and that's why I want to like. I'm uninterested in. Actually, I do love Canada. You know, like I have to say that people like. I do think a lot of woke people don't really love Canada that much.
No, they don't. Yeah, you're right.
Because they don't really even. They're not like I've been here and I've been to Northwest Territory and I've been to like they're just like I live in. I haven't even been to, you know, fucking. They haven't been to Alberta. Oh, Alberta, they're all wearing.
Yeah.
It's just stupid people.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Canada doesn't have a culture of people moving around the country as much as the US. Or in Canada, we don't have a culture of caring about politics or making fun of politics and it being really popular as much as the US until recently.
Well, what really is our culture then?
Well, we don't really have one. I mean, every time we think we have one,
Yeah.
the government's like, no, we got to steer clear of that. Now our culture, basically, if the government were to be involved, is like basically just woke culture, indigenous culture. And like, I like the indigenous stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's cool to like, I think it's cooler to be like, let's have indigenous flags everywhere
Yeah.
instead of fucking pride flags. Like, no
True.
offense, but it's like, why the fuck do I have to look at a pride flag? Whoops. That's fucking, it's a figure of speech.
Automatic
Or
comedy.
that's
Sorry.
yeah, automatic comedy mode. Autopilot.
What do you what are your thoughts on all that stuff that's happening, especially with the LGBTQ2LS5?
I mean, I don't like. I obviously have no problem with any gay person or them being gay or blah blah blah. It's just like I don't want to see the flag all the time. I think that. And if gay people are like, well, I don't want to see straight people all the time. It's like, well, what the fuck are we doing here then?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why are we not just getting along in society? I feel like there was a point in time, like my mom always had a gay friend.
Yeah.
Like growing up, always had a gay friend.
Yeah.
I mean, they all molested me. No, I'm just kidding. No, they were all actually really cool and fucking funny. And like, they would always like swear in front of me and shit and just be like, they would like the first time I heard the word like the word faggot, it was from a gay person.
They said
it
it
was one of
themselves.
my mom's friends who
Yeah.
like said it about in some story that they were telling or whatever. Sorry, this thing. I'm just.
But the OG, the OG gays, like they don't fuck.
OG gays.
The OG gays, they
I
don't
got
fuck
this.
with what's going on right now. Like with
No.
this whole.
They
And
don't
they
want to
don't-
be attached to it.
They're just like I know, and it's every time the government's this is my opinion, but they talk about vulnerable communities. These people are vulnerable, and then those are the people that get brainwashed the most by the government.
Yep.
So
It's facts.
they're like, "Oh my God, we're protecting vulnerable communities by like brainwashing them and making them hate everybody else."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
it's true.
Nobody hated. I went to high school. There was no like, "Oh, that guy's a fucking gay." Like,
Yeah.
And we never,
Yep.
ever. My high school was all Chinese kids. Oh, it was just Olivia Chows everywhere. little baby, baby
Yeah.
Olivia's. No, I'm just. There was a lot of it. Like if you fucking look at my yearbook, I went to Harvard Collegiate, which isn't
Oh
far
shit!
from here.
Yeah. I know Harvard.
If you look at my yearbook,
All Asians.
it's all fucking Asians, and it's like Chow Chow Chow. It's like Dina Chow, Ina Chow, this Chow. Like, you know, and which is fine, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny even for Chinese people. They go, oh, that's a lot of Chinese. Like, come on. Everybody knows that's funny. If it's a lot of white people with the almost exact same name,
Smith,
it's fucking
John.
funny.
But I think there's only a few like ethnicities that are like cancelable if you talk about them.
It's just
you make fun of like Mexicans, they don't give a fuck. You make fun of Italians, we don't give a fuck.
No.
Yeah.
The only people
There's
that
like a
care,
couple.
The only people that care and call out racism is white people. It's white people being like
Mostly, yeah.
It's white people.
Not only, but it is mostly.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, okay, it's everywhere. But like, dude, I look
But
at
any of the people
comments,
who aren't white and say shit like that are like, if you met them, they're like white.
They're
that's what I'm saying.
they're whitewashed. Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Whitewashed, which is, I think that's like they try to get rid of that term, right?
Like, it's
Really?
like white people are
Probably.
pissed off about.
Didn't they try to get rid of picnic or something? Peanut gallery or something?
Oh, really?
I don't know. It's fucking weird. But I agree with you with like the pride flag shit. Like what? Like why
No,
are
you were
we?
saying
Why are we
white
flying?
people in my comments? There's a lot of white people.
Well, I was gonna say first thing. Yeah, I look at your comments, like especially with the Olivia Chow shit. I'm gonna go ahead and say majority of the people being like, "You racist bigot loser." It's fucking like it's like Teresa Johnson, like you know what I mean, like Sarah
It's like
Smith.
weird, creepy white people who like live in like a weird, shitty bachelor with like junk everywhere, and they're like hoarders, and they like just have a shitty compact computer, and like you're a piece of shit. Yeah, it's trolls. It's that's what our society is. They're people you don't even see because they don't leave their home.
I'd go ahead and say low IQ.
Yeah. Well, that's how they got in that position in the first place.
I go ahead and say low IQ people. That's one thing. But I want to go back to the pride flag thing quickly because I agree. Why are we flying pride flags everywhere? Like for what reason?
Gay and proud, bro.
It's
what's the fucking percentage?
Because it's like it represents more than just the gay thing. Now.
Yeah, they bunched
At
everyone
one
up.
point, it was like, oh, remember the old pride flag? It was like, that's gay. Then they bunched them up. But now it's really just the flag of kind of the New World thing. Like it's like the flag of the UN, and they all fly it, right?
Yeah.
Like the UN. So it's this kind of.
It's the New World Order flag.
It kind of is. I mean, I'm not like it is funny to say that too, to be like, yo, it's like the New World Order flag, but it's a gay flag, right? It's like hilarious, but it is kind of when I see. It's like, why is it at every bank then? Every
That's
bank.
what I'm trying to say. Is what I'm
Even
saying.
in small towns, like you go to this. Actually, some places are like,
They
we're
won't
not
fuck with
fucking
it.
putting.
Yeah.
But it's not about that I hate it. And that's what it's just this gaslighting of, I'm going to put this, it's like imagine you live with somebody and they just put shit around the house that you don't want to see. They start putting up fucking flags and you're like, I don't want to see these flags. And like, that's because you're a hateful piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what the, like, so basically you're saying this isn't our, it's not like that's a whole give our land back. It's not our land. It's nobody's land. It's, just I don't get to choose what is put up or not put up.
Yeah.
It's because I'm a colonialist and I'm a fucking, I have a bit about that where I'm like, they call white people colonialists as if that's like offensive.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
What do you think? So
Do you think that group is bundled up like that with lesbian, gay, bi, trans, everyone's in one group? Because if you attack one of them, you're technically attacking all of them. You think
there's
that's
actually,
the play?
I swear there's like immigrants in that group too.
There is.
Like,
There's like a lot of
No, it's
different things.
black,
They keep
brown.
adding
They
to it.
They added
it
the
just
colors.
doesn't like it's just very weird.
So now
it's a
if-
weird thing, and it's weird that like kindergartens have it up
Yes.
and like preschools, and they're just like pushing this, and
That's
I think
kinda
it's
where we
having
draw
a
the line.
negative. It's having a negative effect on. And I can't prove this, but there's no way this isn't having a negative effect on like young men, young boys who are like in like, going into grade 9 and all they see is gay.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to play on the hockey team. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Do we have to fly the fucking gay pride flag in the locker room too?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Or just
where is the protection of like having, that's why, gym class, they had boys would play with the boys and girls would play with, is that bad?
Sexist,
No,
yeah.
it's because fucking let the boys play with other boys and the
Yeah.
girls fucking compete. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's just annoying, and I think it has nothing to do with hate. It just has to do with like I at this point I do hate it.
Well, they're making
hate
you
the
hate
flag.
it. They're making you hate it.
They're making the
How
flag.
can you not? How can you not fucking hate it?
Well, I think I want to make this point. I think
But no, I don't hate gay people.
No,
or
no,
gay.
it's not about
I
gays
just
or
hate
lesbian. It's about
that there has to be a flag. I would hate if there was a fuck Trudeau flag on every bank too, which is the opposite. Some
wouldn't
people,
hate that.
some people
love
like
that.
that.
I wouldn't hate that. But
eventually it would become weird.
Eventually, fair.
Well, if it's everywhere, yeah, it's like, okay, well, this is propaganda now.
Yeah,
We
I
can't-
get for like a weekend, like fuck Trudeau.
Yeah.
But like just everywhere, forever.
Yeah.
I think it's that whole flag and that whole new community that they've like bunched everybody into. I almost feel like it's like replacing like religion. It's like a fucking religion.
It's
A lot of
is.
people say that.
It's like a religion. They've like, dude, they're like removing Catholicism from schools and teaching kids like how to
Well,
transition.
the Pope came out and said that he's going to start accepting gay marriage.
Dude, I'm telling you,
so
but
we're
I feel
fucked.
like it's like a cult, bro. I feel like it's a fucking religion, dude. Like people are just joining it now just to be a part of. It's like the trendy way to say like fuck it, fuck normal society.
Yeah.
I'm a tranny, and you're like,
Well, you know what,
I
too,
mean?
Like
even-
nobody's even doing it. Like that's the thing. It's like a very small part of the population. It's just the government is using this small part of the population, this vulnerable part of the population, brainwashing them into being very politically active and like
Yes.
active online, and your fucking voice matters and more than everybody else's, and you know, and now we have to change everybody's work life and everybody's fucking everything life and what you watch on Netflix and what you fucking can watch on now soon on YouTube, on podcasts. They're trying to regulate that as well. And when they say that and they go, oh no, but it's, you know, it's fine. Don't worry. But as long as you're liberal,
Yeah, literally.
right? That's what it means.
Yeah.
That's the code word for, oh, it's fine if your podcast doesn't get, as long as you don't make this much money a year and you're liberal.
Yes.
yeah.
Because if you're just a conservative podcast, that's exactly why they're coming out with these policies to fucking censor any voice that's going against what the Liberal Party wants to do. And they're doing it slowly.
But do Canadians not see that? Like, bro, if they come out and say, like, they want to control podcasts. Like, at what point do Canadians wake up and say, okay, this is fucked up? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
So
this
just
is
for
like-
context, I'll give some context
Never.
on this. On the
Yeah. Okay.
The CRTC, Canada's broadcast regulator, is demanding that companies offering podcasts or social media services in Canada register with the government by November 28th.
Like,
It's only
register with
companies.
the government?
It's only companies earning more than 10 million per year. The players making more than 10 million per year are the platforms that content producers like me and millions of others rely on to get our message out. So they're saying we're not going to regulate the individual podcaster, but we'll regulate
Okay,
the
so my bad.
platforms.
Yeah. So essentially,
But then the platform is basically just going to do what the government wants to do. And be
Because they're
like,
government
we're
funded.
now, you know, you're saying, like, there's no other countries with policies like this except for like fucking Iran and like North Korea
China.
and even China. But even though that, but then they go, oh, but you know, it's just this, and they gaslight and go, it's what are you worried about?
It's for the best for you.
We're uplifting Canadian voices. Oh, really? Is this podcast going to be uplifted? No,
Yeah.
of course not. They're going to uplift fucking some transgender Chinese bowl cut lady who's going to go, oh, you got to stay inside and wear masks. What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to listen to that shit. That's the other thing. That's why Canada's so fucked, is because everything's subsidized by the government. So there's no there's no real capitalism where it's like, this is the best show. We're going with this.
Yes.
Everybody wants to watch this. People want to spend money on this. They want to see Ben Bankas live. He's sold out this many tickets. Oh, but we can't allow him in the real venues. We have to like push him to these, to the comedy clubs, which is fine. And I love comedy clubs, but like there's certain ways that they censor you without
Yeah, it's
doing
how
it
you
like
grow.
in Nazi Germany, where they just come to your door and go, how many Jews?
Well, they can't do it like that. They have to make it a little bit more,
No,
casual.
it's more like, okay, so all these venues are woke now, so you can't play those. You have to play the other ones, so you're making less money, and then we're going to tax you, and those taxes are going to pay for the venues that won't let you play.
Yep.
That's the really fucked up
Well, I
part.
saw you even had a video.
For
Maybe
me,
it was like a story
my
or something.
personal situation.
Yeah, you were on I think you were on a phone call with one of the venues.
Yeah,
Remember that? This was recent, right?
Yeah.
And you were saying like, oh, is it because I'm not liberal that you don't want to give me the venue? Do you come across that a lot?
Yeah, usually, like, what I was doing before was just not mentioning that
Okay.
and just
rolling with
booking
it.
the show, and then
Seeing what happens.
because a lot of these places they're dumb. The people who run them are just like
Yeah.
idiots, like fucking like failed drama school, like theater school dropouts. Like, I'll just work at a theater and fucking on the rentals for theater rentals, right? No offense. Some of the like the bigger theaters, it's like a big job.
Yeah.
Like for like 1,500 or like 900 seaters, it's a bigger job, right? Because they're doing a lot of big deals. But like these are like 300 to 500 seat like community theaters that are paid for by taxpayers. And before I would just book them, and they go no, and I'd go, "Are you sure you don't care? You don't censor? No. Never. No, we let everybody come here. Okay, cool." Then like a month before the show, I get an email. We can't do the show. Like refund all the tickets, and it's fucked up. You know, I'll do it if I'm like, can I sell my own tickets at this woke venue? Sure. And then they cancel on me and still have my tickets. I don't have to refund. I can just find another venue on the same day and change it like on Eventbrite or whatever.
True.
But if they sell the tickets, then they can just refund them all, and you're fucked because now, like you're actually fucked.
But I think when you came out and started like showing people like what was going on, did that kind of like grow, like help you grow a bit? No.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my supporters like know this shit was happening anyway, and then they're like seeing it. You know, it got them pumped to come see me live. Yeah. And it is sick because then I'm like at shows being like, this is illegal comedy. People are just like hyped.
It's like prohibition for comedy.
It is. And it's not like I can still do comedy. I can still perform comedy, certain venues, and I can still make money, blah, blah, blah. But there's like this hesitancy from, like if the government wanted to, they could be like, let's just throw all our money at Ben Bankas. Why not?
Yeah.
Boom. Let him say whatever he wants. Like then all of a sudden then I'm gonna leave in a year and a half anyway if they do that, or a year, like to the States. So what are they really scared of? I think.
Have you noticed, like even with your audiences and the people that follow you, have you noticed like in the past few years people are waking up to what's going on?
Of course they are. A lot of people are like, who during the pandemic were out of their minds, are like now coming to their senses and being like, yeah, I acted like a maniac. Like there's a comic that I performed with recently that during the pandemic, I did a show in a park. Yeah. And at the time I was making fun of Teresa Tam. Which is different. I always have a Chinese woman that I'm making fun of for some reason.
Not hard.
But that's what I have a career doing it apparently. So not hard. Yeah, not hard to do. Oh, stay inside, wear best. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But it was at the time it made sense because everybody's afraid to do that. True. And she was just fucking actually being a tyrant. So I was doing this show in a park, and this guy like wrote this like manifesto, this other comedian on Facebook being like, don't show up to this guy's show. Like I'm taking notes of like making a list of all the comics that have gone to the show. Like once things are back open, we're not going to allow
people need a job.
Those people to come back to the comedy bar. That was like and then I see this guy at a show recently. Now he's like working with the Yuck Yucks. Okay. And I was like, oh, what's up? And he's like, oh.
That's awkward.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, man, I know all that shit was fucked, right? But don't worry about it. Like, I was just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? And I think like, yeah, he admitted, he was like, yeah, that was, everybody was kind of mentally ill. So I do think even like people who were the most hardcore during 2020 to 2022 have now kind of been like, okay, that was fucked. And now we're actually losing our freedom of speech. But are they going to do anything about it? No. Especially the ones that aren't affected by it. Like I'm affected by it, but then all the other comedians at least are benefiting off of some of the censorship and this move towards, oh, are you like a nerdy fucking shitty loser guy that sucks?
Sign you up.
Yeah. Now you're on Just for Laughs.
Yeah. But I think the tide will turn with like society incentivizing the wrong people right now. I think that tide will turn.
I think it'll happen in the States first.
Yes.
And then we'll be later, but it all depends on who wins and what if Pierre wins in Canada, if that's going to change anything or not.
I got no hope, bro. I got no hope for us.
It's very possible that he wins and then he's like, look, we're going to keep the CRTC thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so easy for that to happen. And it's like, there's nobody to hold anybody accountable. And I don't know. I don't know what.
It's also our government here is that like Trudeau could be in power forever.
That is a huge fear of mine, but hopefully Pierre wins.
Is that your prediction?
We've also seen.
I mean, right now it's everybody's prediction.
We've seen rigged elections. So I mean, we've seen rigged elections.
Can't say that on YouTube.
Okay, no, they actually changed it. They actually changed it. You can say it now.
Oh, you can say it again?
You can say it again. We have seen rigged
It's
elections.
only when there's an election going on.
Yeah, that's so by next year, 2024, you won't be able to say it again. But we've seen it before.
And then Canada's 2025. So if Trump wins, then I think Pierre will win. Well, no questions asked.
Ah, man. And they're
Or
trying-
it could do the opposite. If Trump won, then maybe everybody be like, we need Trudeau to keep it balanced.
Then we're
or
out.
something.
Then we're out. Then we go straight to the States.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the coolest people, a lot of the rich, like go look at houses for sale right now. Anywhere in Canada.
Oh, I actually saw
from
this
like
the other
2
day.
million to 6 million or something. Every fucking rich person is selling their house and
Dude.
like either going to fucking Costa Rica, Mexico,
Miami.
US. Like people
Yeah.
are just leaving because they're like, what the fuck am I doing here? My house is worth $3 million. Nobody even wants to buy it.
Yeah. Well, it's even their property taxes going up.
Because we made it illegal for foreigners to buy homes now, and they were fueling our entire
whole
economy.
Yeah.
Just Chinese people buying houses, and then that was like their basically bank account
Yep.
because they live in a communist
And then they
country,
throw
so
one of
they'd
their kids
use
here.
the mortgage to like, or they'd buy it like cash or something. They buy the
And then
house cash,
refi.
and then they just they refinance and have like it's fucking crazy what
Yeah.
they do.
But isn't that crazy? People in a communist country.
But now
were
we're
buying-
stopping them from, in a way, like being able to get around a communist. We're like working with China to be like, no, fuck you. You have to stay there and be fucked.
But also, how stupid
Yeah.
is the fucking government? Like, bro, these people were buying, like you said, $3, $4, $5 million homes, and now you've not like. So you think if you stop Chinese millionaires from buying $1 million homes, that's gonna help poor people buy homes?
I don't know. We have a vodka water here, though. I'm gonna try this. Raspberry or blueberry.
Like,
Is it gonna stop people buying, or is it
like-
gonna lower the price? It like
No, it doesn't. It's not going to, bro. It makes no sense. Those homes weren't gonna get bought from the guy working at McDonald's, anyways.
the only way like the country would get fixed is if like we had like a Kevin O'Leary or something, or like some
Like run the country.
some like kind of Trumpy guy who
Or-
just
yeah.
kind of knew how to financially fix everything and
Yeah.
fucking work
We
with
need a
other
Canadian
countries.
Trump.
Isn't it kind of funny though? Like Kevin O'Leary is like he sees a Canadian Trump, but like just because he's like softer, he's just like a softer Trump. Like he's not gonna like say the things
He's
Trump would
soft.
say.
He's soft.
Yeah, he's not that. He's pretty crazy. Like his wife.
He says some fuck shit.
You know, his wife like
Murdered
yeah,
like
no,
a
I saw
family,
that.
and then
the
they
boat
were just,
thing, right? The boat on the
Yeah.
boat. Yeah, I saw.
and then
it.
they're just
And
like,
then they
whoops.
got off.
Yeah.
No, but I was looking.
And she was
actually-
sauced too. She was a little.
I was
sauced.
looking at it, and it showed.
It's crazy, bro.
It showed.
It really pays to have like $1 billion, bro. For
Yeah,
real, dude.
really.
You can murder people drunk.
They showed. They
I
showed.
don't think he's a billionaire, but he's definitely like I think he's like tens of millions. I mean, I don't even know if he's
He's
hundreds.
in the hundreds.
Is
No,
he
he's in the
hundreds?
hundreds.
He's
gotta
in the
be in the
hundreds. He's in the
hundreds.
hundreds. But yeah, like even Bridle Path,
Yeah. What
Forest
about it?
Hill,
Okay.
2 areas, bro. Over 50% of the houses right now for sale. 2 of the nicest
crazy
areas, like
stat.
in fucking almost Canada too. You could
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But where are these people going? They're either leaving the country or they're moving to like a mega house out in the middle of nowhere
For like 10%
Because
of the
if I
price.
was 60 and I owned a fucking $3 million to $5 million house in Toronto,
Yeah.
like you can move anywhere and have a better place. Like,
Bro, for 10%,
like anywhere in the world,
for
you
10%.
dude, for $5 million in like Canadian in Mexico, you can have like a compound with like a fucking
You can have your own
30
resort.
like a Trump wall around it
Yeah.
with barbed wire, electric fence, and
Yeah.
guards and maids. Like, what the fuck? Why would you want to be here and just see a pride flag every 5 seconds and fucking? It's stupid,
Dude, I was
making people psychotic. too.
Yeah. I was taking a walk in LA. I was with Jay taking a walk.
Yeah.
And dude, we were walking on it for like half an hour. Okay.
Who?
Jay's the guy behind you.
behind-
Oh shit! I forgot that.
There he is. We're taking a walk. Right? We're like, let's take a walk. We left our Airbnb, taking a walk downtown.
He looks
LA.
like Portuguese Mr. Beast.
Yo, you never got that one before, eh?
That's
a good,
crazy.
That's a good one.
He usually gets on TikTok. Everyone says he looks like Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Let me see.
Do you
Like
see
with
it?
hair.
Do you see it?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that
You
kind of
do look like a Tate brother.
Yeah. He could be
He's
the
the
third.
third.
The only Tate brother driving a Honda Civic.
So we're taking a walk. You know, we're taking a nice walk in LA.
Galleria Mall.
bro.
Yo, you don't want to go get a Pokemon card right now?
Taking a walk, and we're like, you know what? Let's go for a stroll. Half an hour stroll, dude. Gay flag, pride flag, every single store. Not only that, but every bar, store, retail that we saw, only gay people were there.
Is that where you bought those glasses?
This is why we bring comedians on, you see? So I finished the walk with this guy and I say, how are you going to live here and not be gay?
That's the story of when you sucked your first dick.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, dude, for a
Bro, I want to be gay. I'm walking around like, yo, what kind of? There's no women. Fucking nobody's being annoyed,
dude. So it's like, imagine you live around there and it's like you're a kid, you're 15, 16, and that's where you chill. You're gonna be gay. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what are you talking about? You're gonna be gay. No, bro. There's a big chance.
Where is this?
This is Los Angeles, bro.
Oh. Well, LA, I think being gay is like a defense mechanism against getting shot.
It could be. It actually could be.
I saw a video of like this guy in New York. He's like a
saw that.
Oh, the black guy walking around.
No, he's like a liberal guy, white guy.
Ryan Carson.
Yeah, he like got stabbed at like 4. He was like with his girlfriend at 4 a.m.
He's like a Marxist. Like,
it's just weird how those like lefty white liberals are just so trusting. They're like, I'm out at 5 in the morning or 4 a.m. on like a Saturday and like downtown. Like, you're an idiot. Like, what are you fucking doing? And then you got, of course you got stabbed. You're standing there with a beautiful chick on an empty street in the middle of New York at 4 in the morning.
I wouldn't say
stupid.
Have you seen the
Dressed
picture?
up,
Have you seen the
like
picture
you're
of the
rich.
chick though?
Is she ugly?
She's ugly, bro.
She didn't even help him. She
No,
just like
she's
let him
like-
die.
But like, that's because they're
That's
lefties.
a liberal thing.
Yeah.
It's a lefty thing to do.
She's like, let him die, let him die. The black guy did it, and that's okay. And don't call 911. Just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You're stupid.
But to be fair, the way
They don't want to live. They don't want to have kids. They want to have abortions. They want to change their site. Let it happen.
Did you? Yeah, but okay.
Depopulation on its own.
Yeah, but like, bro, this is why white people are
Choose
so
your own
fucking
destiny.
stupid, bro. White people are
Bandersnatch.
so fucking stupid, bro.
They've been though.
We're so stupid. We're so fucking stupid.
Everybody's stupid. Every
no,
race
but white
is stupid.
people. No, but white people, bro. We conquered the world at one point.
White people are just they're like used to things being okay. So they're not, especially in North America, they're just not used to like the idea of like I don't want to fight the government. Like, I just want to fucking get a Starbucks and like chill. Like, I'll watch Netflix. Like, I don't care if it's communist. Like, there's certain, you know what I mean? Like, there is that mentality. That's what it is.
That's a lot of people though. That's like
Yes.
that's a big part of the population.
Like, yeah, like okay, young men want to make money to fuck young women, and the women don't even care anymore because they're like, I'll just sell pictures of my feet, and if you want to hang out with me, it's like $500 or some crazy bullshit.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so
What am
I doing?
I forget why I was talking about this, but what were you saying right before
White
that?
people are fucking
Oh yeah,
stupid,
the white
bro.
people thing. That's not just white girls, but that's like young girls. But is it like, it's a lot of white chicks. It's just like there's too much. Like, their pussy is just worth so much now, like in this economy.
Yeah.
It's
And
worth so much.
Even
but
for a
they
six,
don't. They don't. But men like can't. Like, it's kind of a fucked up situation out there. I don't really know.
Okay, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? I'm curious. I have this conversation a lot. People are gonna be like, dude, you're a white supremacist, but white people, like, we're not allowed to be proud of being white anymore. Like, kind of to what you're saying. I feel like it, like, dude, like, especially white men.
I thought you were Mexican.
I'm Italian, so we're kind of white. We
Mexicans of Europe. No, that's Portuguese.
that's the Portuguese. No, I feel like what straight white men, but just white men in general, like, bro, like, you can't be like proud of that, you know?
Well, that's just
Like, if you walked around, you're like, dude, I'm proud to be white.
If you're like a white, like
People
we
be
always
like,
say,
bro, what?
if you're a white man, that's the worst thing that you could be.
Right
today.
now,
Yeah.
right now, we were born in the wrong times, bro. Dude,
This guy's like, yo, I want to have a slave. Wrong time, bro. I wish it was 1700.
I think he meant like the 90s.
no,
you
kick
know?
it
like,
back to like
No,
70s
it's because
to 90s,
well,
bro.
because white
we
people
were, like,
run
cool,
most
dude.
things. So I mean, there's no real reason to be like, I'm proud. Like that, it's funny to say you're proud. Like if you're doing it as a joke, like I do in my set, where I'm like, you know, I'm like.
But you're not proud to be white?
I mean, I think most white people are just like, thank God I'm white. They're not like, that's why everybody else is like, I'm proud of what I am.
yeah.
Because white people are like, yeah, whatever, do it. Like, do what you gotta do.
Well, to be fair though, it's because, especially in today's day, you're not proud to be white because the only thing you know about white people is you're bad.
Well, I think pride is like stupid in like for any like race because you don't choose what you are. So it's kind of dumb to be like, I'm proud of who I like. I'm white. It's like, okay, but you could have been black, you could have been Chinese, you could have been whatever. So that's why my humor is funny, because when you think about like life not so seriously, and you realize that you could have been anything.
True.
So like, why are you proud? I'm proud to. I'm not proud really. I feel blessed or lucky to be white. To be honest, I'm like, thank God.
Clip that.
I'm like, thanks for and to live in Canada. Like, yeah, it's not great right now, but it's still better than probably ever. Like, it's better than like the 1930s in Canada and it was all white, and it was all just white people starving and fucking had malaria or whatever the fuck and shitting their guts out in the street. So, like, yeah, like I do a joke about how white people kind of we bared the brunt of like we had to do a lot of the the raping and the killing just so that you guys could be here tonight. Or I mean, and it's because it's funny because it's true, right? Yeah. But it's like nobody thinks about it that way. But it's like but it's not. You guys might not even have lineage that far back. Like your lineage might have been in Europe until like whatever, like 100 years ago or something.
No,
right?
they were like
it was really
like even less than that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like a very small group of white people that are even like linked to all of the shit that happened. Like Dundas, the Dundas guy.
Yeah.
Like I did a bit about that
when they wanted to change the street name. You remember that?
Yeah, I'm like, and then Olivia Chow spending $8.6 million to change the street name, which is more money than the original Dundas guy spent on slaves.
Wow. Was that a real stat?
No, that's the joke. I'm guessing
it's a good stat.
I'm guessing he didn't spend that much money.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. But then I say like he didn't have slaves, obviously.
Yeah. So you don't even consider yourself like right wing?
I mean, I don't like other people consider. I just consider myself like myself, kind of.
Okay.
I don't really like. I do like. I would probably vote for fucking Pierre, obviously.
Yeah.
I voted PPC one time during the pandemic because I was like, yo, this shit's fucked up. I like
just to see what happens.
Yeah, I took my mom with dementia to like vote. I like forced her to vote PPC.
Holy shit! That's
actually,
demonic.
You're one of like what 37 people.
That is demonic.
Yeah. No, she wasn't that far gone at that point, but it was still very funny. But no, I don't know what anything that's not woke is right wing. So.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm like politically right wing in the sense that I'm not like, you shouldn't like conservative, like you shouldn't swear and you shouldn't do drugs and you should believe in God and you should, you should not have premarital sex and you should. So like all the like it's like I'm liberal for all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't give a fuck. Or for gays, like I don't give a shit of what the fuck you are or what I'll treat you with respect if you treat me with respect. I'm not a fan of like just promoting dumb shit all the time. Like the liberal government's just like, they're just skewing everybody's perception about things and making everybody hate each other. And I don't agree with that. And it sucks that now it's just like anybody who is that, okay, so you're right wing is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess so, but I wasn't like voting for Harper. Like we need to balance this budget, like in fucking 2013 or whatever.
Fuck Harper, what a throwback.
Right? Like I'm not, or I wasn't like fucking, I don't have like a fuck Trudeau flag at my house or like a MAGA flag or whatever. And some of my fans do, and I make fun of them and they laugh because they know it's funny. And
true.
Would you vote Trump?
If I was in the States,
if you're American?
If I was American, if I could, I don't know. That's like probably, I guess. But like I'm not American, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's hilarious. And, I probably would vote. I'd probably like not tell anybody and then vote for him.
And then make your
Which
mom
is how
do
he
it
won
too?
the first time. Right? Or even the second time how he almost won. Because a lot of people are like, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. And they're like, Trump.
Yeah. They didn't want to say it was a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I just feel like Western politics right now are so. It's a fucking show, dude.
I think
so
the whole world is
entertaining.
laughing at us right now.
So like even Biden, you got good old Joe. He doesn't know where he is. He's barely fucking just getting by.
Someone end him, please.
He's pretty coherent for somebody his age, though. I have to admit, like as fucked up as he is.
You
like,
think so?
Wait, how
like
old
I
is
go
he?
to my mom's seniors home, and you're like, okay, Biden's killing it.
Okay,
This guy can fucking walk to a helicopter and fly to Malaysia. It's pretty impressive. But I'm not saying like, oh, he's perfect and he knows what's going on. Like, yeah, obviously he's out of it. He's old.
Yeah.
They're all old. All those people, like that other one who died before she died, she didn't even like give up her seat. Feinstein or whatever.
She died and she kept her seat?
Or she didn't even step down. She just waited till she died.
Who was
at
that?
like 93. I think she's like a senator.
Yeah.
Dianne Feinstein or something.
Oh, okay. In the States?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like,
Like-
I just feel like it's a fucking. It's such a show right now, dude.
Now they're trying to get Trump to be the Speaker of the House in the States.
Are they?
Yeah, because they think it would be. I think partly they know, oh, if he does that, maybe he'll like that more than the president. Won't want to be president. But I think
that's not going to work out. He's going to still.
he can
wanna be
still
president.
run. I think if he takes that job.
He can do both.
Yeah, which would be so sick if he was running and he was Speaker of the House, just doing crazy stuff.
Oh, dude, there'd be so much
But
content.
that's what I think Western civilization is about, just being crazy. Like,
You think
let's
so?
just be hilarious and crazy. Like Trudeau's this whole bullshit, like his whole demeanor, everything about him is just so cringe and so like, so just like fake and stupid. And oh, we're helping what community are we helping today? Oh, today Somalia, tomorrow the fucking Mohawks, and then Thursday the gays, and like it's just too much. Like, just why can't we ever talk about like having a good family is important, or like family values? Like that used to be what politicians would talk about. They'd be like, hug your loved ones and fucking remember, take these, Christmas. They do a speech. Remember this is a time to spend with your families and to cherish these moments and blah blah blah. Now they don't even fucking talk about that. Christmas, we have to remember that you don't say Happy Merry Christmas to a Muslim or they'll fucking blow up or whatever the fuck. It's just
Everything's
bullshit.
bad now. Everything's bad.
You can't. Where is the happy speech?
Yeah.
Where's Trudeau's unifying speech? I know people are pissed off at me. I know it's controversial, some of the things I'm doing, but I'm trying to help people. Even if he said that, even if he changed nothing and said that, people would be like, okay, this guy's showing some fucking humanism. But these people are just completely devoid of any real emotion or real, I can see his only real emotion is anger.
Yeah.
I've seen Trudeau get angry a lot.
Yeah.
But again, it's sad. It's sad that they don't even give a shit about families. They're just like, they want everybody to come from broken homes because statistically you're going to not be rich. You're going to be more poor. You're going to have a harder time in life. You're going to need the government to help you. That's what I mean.
What about you? You have kids?
I have a kid. Yeah.
You have a kid?
I have
Congrats,
a daughter.
bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's beautiful.
How old?
She's 16 months.
Oh shit.
Fresh papa.
Fresh.
Yeah.
We got a fresh papa with us.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Change the way you look at things.
Yes. I mean, makes me work harder or want to work harder.
Wanna maybe not always, but yeah. I want to.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I definitely have worked like since she's been born. Like I've
No, you've been
gone
going
from
crazy. You've been going crazy. I see
making like no money at comedy to making like as much money as you can make in Canada from comedy.
Nice.
Without doing, without being Andrew Schulz, Dougie.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So,
but
other than
it's
that,
great. Like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
People should be not so afraid of it or told that it's just such an awful thing. It makes your life harder. But as a man,
hit him with it, bro. Hit him with it.
As a man, you want to have kids instinctually, right? Like you want to fuck, and it's like if you get some girl pregnant, she aborts it, like you feel bad.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So
Yeah,
it's
fair.
not really, and so do the girls, I think, that get abortions. They feel bad unless they, fuck, Mr. Beast or Portuguese Mr. Beast. Andrew Tate's cousin. No, he's a good looking guy, but I'm just saying that, like, I don't know, like, there is a fear the government's instilling everybody, like, oh, they're coming after women's rights. It's all about abortion rights. The right to abort, which I don't think, like, yeah, women should have the right to abort, but why is it supposed to be like this celebrated thing? Like, we should be like, yeah, you have the right to do it. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's not, I have the right to say, go fuck yourself. Like, should I do that all the time? Like, so yeah, it's just this fear. I think we have a generation of people who have a fear of growing up, a fear of the next phase.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And when you have kids, you really start remembering your own childhood. It like unlocks all this like instinctual, like, oh yeah, I remember that and this about my childhood, and oh, that makes sense in that picture when I was a little baby, and then you're with your baby, and it's cathartic, especially for people who've had not the best childhood. They go, oh, I had a bad childhood, so I'm not having a kid.
True.
That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a kid and then make their childhood better. or try to. Like that's the only way for your lineage to grow and be prosperous. Like if you want to have kids, you don't want them to just be fucking working at McDonald's for the rest of their entire life.
So when's number 2 coming then?
I don't know. Probably never though.
Are you worried? Are you like worried in this society that we live in to raise a daughter, especially?
I mean, like, yeah, but like, what am I gonna do? Like,
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the papa now.
I don't know. Like
schooling and shit like that.
She's like
all that
one though. Like she doesn't have to go to school for like
True.
3-4 years
Until Trudeau's out of office, pretty much. She'll
hopefully.
start school.
But even then, it's like, I don't know.
But I feel
There'll
like,
be some other school. Hopefully, I'm just be rich enough to go put her in school somewhere else.
but I feel like people also like had children in like World War II. So like,
Yeah, I talked about that. Like people are like, oh my god, it's such a horrible time to raise someone. It's like not really. Like at least I know where she is. She has still have a cell phone on her. Like
True.
versus being young in the 80s or something and just being out with no phones and
they just wait.
get lost and picked up by some weirdos. Like it's different. Like the kids are kind of smarter now. They're like, no, I wouldn't. I have a phone and call my parents. Da da da. Like, I drove here and like drove through like UFT and like all the young kids look very like smart and like they're not a bunch of fucking whores wandering around. Those girls don't go to fucking university. Like I hope I want my daughter to go to university.
Yeah.
But most of the girls, maybe at Queens, it's different than UFT.
That's
Because
Western.
that's where
for
I
sure.
went. Western and Queens is just
yeah.
girls who were like, I did coke in high school, so now I go to Western.
It's the gateway drug to Western.
Yeah, pretty much. So hopefully she's just a nerd and goes to UFT.
How about like even being in your line of business and the things you talk about and stuff? Does that ever? How do you kind of separate that from the family life and not let that affect?
Well, she won't know what the fuck. If Oh, like how do I separate my time and stuff?
Well, just time and even like.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Well, yeah, you're not going to stop doing comedy anytime soon.
No,
She'll
it was
grow up
kind
with
of a
you as-
transition. It was a bit of a transition for my fiance, who, at first was just probably terrified because I was just a loser comedian doing. Oh well, I'm opening at London Yuck Yucks this weekend. That'll be $150.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just like hot from a small town. Like he's poor. I just want to be with some guy who does HVAC. Or
Someone
right?
stable, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that. Like, she has, like some of her family members are like married to guys who are like have like good stable jobs where they're like, and it's like manly jobs too. They're like fixing shit for like the city.
Construction, like, yeah.
Not even like good jobs, like fixing shit. This guy did the casual glasses change halfway through.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But and it's like, yeah, those guys are able to like go to work and then, oh, I got off early. I'm coming home and we're gonna spend time.
We got a barbecue going.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck, I want to do that, but we live in an apartment. One, I kind of, I want to live in the country and be able to be that guy, but it's like, I have to just do stupid shit that only makes sense if you're a comedian. Like stare at my computer and make notes and write to myself and fucking, just gay shit, like making posters or like communicate. And then if now I'm like have editors, right? So I got to communicate with them. Like, where's the clip, this, that, or I'm editing my own clips or I'm editing my there's just a lot of shit that I have to do. And then at night in Toronto, I can at least go out and do comedy.
Yeah.
True.
If I live in the like either the far suburbs or whatever, there's like no shows. Like maybe there'll be like a show. But anyway, so it's a tough transition, I'd say. And my fiance does a really good job of, doing a lot of, understanding and taking care of our daughter when I'm busy. And, she's just good at that and she enjoys it. So good. But now my job's to just be,
It's gotta make some more fucking
famous
cash.
enough and make enough money that if she leaves me, I'm still okay.
Who are the biggest? who would you say is the biggest Canadian comedian right now?
Like financially?
Sure,
Like,
Russell Peters. I
well,
guess.
Russell Peters is like he makes the most, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But he's not, he doesn't like do it all just in Canada. But him and Jerry D, those guys get guarantees. So they'll like do like 1,500 seaters and then they get guaranteed like that.
What does that mean? What does guarantees mean?
It means instead of like what I'm doing right now is kind of, they're called door deals.
Okay.
So it's like the door is like people buying tickets.
Yes.
So I'll get like a percentage of that. like anywhere from like 50% to like 80% of the door.
Sick. As
Okay.
opposed to like
Show.
a flat fee that's
Yeah,
guaranteed.
that's if it's like and then it guarantees like, oh, we want you to come here, and so we'll give you a guarantee, like, you know,
No matter
we'll
how many tickets.
Yeah, you're at least gonna make, say it's like 10 grand or something.
True.
I just actually, it's kind of cool. I did my first guarantee. It's for
Nice.
2024. It's for
Sick.
a comedy festival in Nova Scotia or New
Sick.
Brunswick or something.
Okay.
Congrats, bro.
That's dope.
Yeah, I should be shouting them out.
Gotta get some more
properly,
guarantees out there.
but yeah.
Well, even like
But
as
it's
a
not huge, but it's still
it's a
like
start.
it's bigger than, it's like as big as it should be right now, I think.
What
you-
I want to ask you about Patreon because we're not
Yeah.
on it, but we've always thought about it.
Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you like listening to, if you want to like glimpse at me just like hanging out with my buddies and just like saying whatever, like just being complete retards, then yeah, it's amazing.
what you do like one episode a week on that.
Yeah, like we just did one. So I did an episode this week about my friend Daniel Boardman, who's gone viral in India, and he's
Saw
now
that,
like
yeah.
doing a political punditry in India. And he's actually like just so into it. It's like kind of annoying, but it's it's hilarious. We're happy for him. But he's now basically an Indian. So he's gonna
So he's just Canadian.
He's exactly. He's more Canadian now. No, but he's killing it doing that. And I put him on my pod, and I was like making fun of doing this whole thing, and then like my friend Armin and I like actually just make fun of him on the Patreon, like where we're just like so like you're and just like fucking going off.
But from a business perspective, like, do a lot of people follow you there? Like, how does
I have like 126, I think, patrons right now, which isn't great, but it's like a side. It's another stream of income.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's like doing like a small show a month, an extra small show right now. And
Yeah.
I think it's just going to keep growing as my podcast grows.
And your shows grow, they keep growing.
Last week we did like almost 2,500 listens on YouTube, plus like another 1,000 on Spotify and stuff. So
Yeah.
people are getting into it. And, you know, by the end of the year, I think we'll be at 10K a week. We should be.
Being a comedian as a business, like what are you most focused on? Is it the shows? Is it the content online?
I mean, what do I make
The most.
I mean tickets for sure right now.
So live shows.
Yeah. So I try to focus on just doing that, and the more tickets I sell, the more shows that I do, looks good for my visa going to the US basically, because that's what
You
I'm trying
use
to do.
that
I'm
to
trying to leverage everything that's happening to get to the US, because I don't like I think there is a ceiling in Canada.
Yeah.
And there's certain other comics who are just like, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna fucking, stay here for as long as I can. You got to leave at a certain point. I think I have a good following in the U.S. I have like probably at least 40,000 followers in the U.S. So
Sick.
between different platforms, we're like 30 something on Instagram, and then another 10K between TikTok and Twitter and shit like that. So
Is that the final play? Would you like move there full time?
I mean, maybe it's probably cheaper.
it depends where.
Yeah, it depends where. Like if I was in, I don't really want to live in New York and like a little. I want to.
Texas.
I mean, my thing's like I'd like to stay there for part of the year and do comedy there. But why would I not want to be here too? Right? Maybe not Toronto, but
I think summers here are all right.
summer's a nice year.
That's about
Texas in the winter. But the thing is, there's more comedy in Canada in the winter than in summer.
Really?
Yeah, because that's when everybody's kind of bored and has
they
nothing to
need it,
do.
and
They
they
need
need
it. They need to
That
go out
makes sense.
and watch comedy.
Is Toronto your biggest pull, or do you
Right
find
now?
bigger pulls like when you go to like Nova Scotia or like any of those like other?
Toronto's still my biggest pull. And then followed by, Vancouver. We've had crazy, like we've sold almost like 1,000 tickets like this year in Vancouver,
Oh shit.
which isn't, it's not. Some comics do 10,000, 20,000. Do some comics do a million or 100,000 or whatever. So
How old are you?
31.
Oh, dude, you got fucking time.
Yeah,
bro.
but I even remember like.
But it's
even
a good
on-
spot
on
to
the-
be in for Canada.
No,
like,
it's a great-
1,000. Like if I were to do that in one, because eventually then it's like, if I just didn't go there for a year, then I could do 1,000 seater
Yeah.
instead of doing 5 small shows.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, what you were saying on the Denmo pod again, like to bring that back, you said something about like selling out a 30 ticket show at that point. So
That's
you're
crazy.
growing.
Yeah.
Bro, like,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
like,
selling out like 30 like
Yo,
little,
you said
tiny
that.
venues. But I was, that's what people don't realize. They're like, oh, this is like overnight. It's like not really, because I've been, since 2020 grinding and being like, I used to work like this bar called the Annex Pub, and it was like 50 people, and I would just sell it out like week after week after week, and like growing that audience, and like, so it wasn't like, oh, this guy's all of a sudden just selling shows out. It's like we kind of grew and grew. Like at the beginning of this year, the first cool show was like in February. We sold it out for like 215 people in Toronto at Lula Lounge.
Yeah.
And now we did another one that was like 400 seats, and then we did 5 weeks or 6 weeks of sold out shows at 70 people per show.
What's been your biggest show?
Like ever?
Ever?
Like
Yeah.
most people?
Yeah.
Probably like once I did 420 at Yonge and Dundas Square.
Nice.
When I was kind of younger, like 24. That was like 5,000 people. That was probably the most amount of people.
Oh shit.
But like I've done like theaters that were like 400, 500.
The reason I asked how old you were is because I just
Because I look like shit.
no, because
Guy looks
I
43.
just met Andrew Schulz as well. I saw his show and I
it's
met
wild.
him after, and I did some research after, and he's 39.
he looks younger, eh?
Bro, he looks way younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the haircut.
It must be.
It's probably the haircut.
Some, he probably doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink that much.
No, he drinks, and he's I seen his.
He's a health nut now, though. Like,
Yeah, but he's
that's the
talked
thing.
about
Once you
doing-
start making money, you start going
Yeah.
like, okay,
I'm healthy now.
Instead of buying cigarettes, I'm gonna buy a fucking grinder for flaxseed or
Pull up some
in a-
flaxseed.
get a sick blender and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm actually gonna do after
Cold
this
tubs and
podcast.
shit,
I'm gonna
you
go
know, come
Ball
on.
out and buy a blender, not
A sick
expensive.
blender?
No, just get like a fucking
just one
NutriBullet.
that works.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Just one that plugs in. No, yeah, I asked because I'm like, damn, 39. Not that that's old, but like I thought he was way younger. But now I think the timeline now kind of makes
He was
sense.
grinding.
Yeah.
Bro. He was grinding.
Bro,
He was probably in a similar position as me at 31 in
Yes.
terms of he had an audience. He was selling tickets. It wasn't like the biggest fucking audience ever. But he was probably ahead of me just because he was in I don't know at 31 what he was doing,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest.
But
But
then he got I think Charlamagne
he had some
put him on.
pilots. Like he made some money doing. And quote me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that he did a few TV pilots because
Okay.
like 15 years ago or 10 years ago, if you were hot or comic or like they would just pay you like $300K and like you're a part of a fucking pilot. You make like 2 episodes of a show and then they'd be like, here's $300K. We're never going to air it. You suck. You're shit. You're garbage. You should quit. Right. And like, so, but then it's like, oh, I have $300K. And he like reinvested that to like doing other things.
Yeah.
And his own podcast and stuff. So
Then
I think
Charlamagne
that's
put him
what
on.
I'm trying to do. And I'm taking a risk because it's like, yeah, I made decent money this year and I'm continuing I have more shows, but I'm trying to like, quote Mr. Beast actually, like he basically did that. It's like any money he made from his YouTube, he put right back into his YouTube.
Yep.
It's like you kind of have to do that. Like
course.
at first you just like I just want to ball out and fucking Gucci glasses, like oh shit, right? But then at a certain point you're like, okay, we gotta buy more equipment or like
Yep.
pay for people to film stuff or like you
Yep.
know pay for somebody to record it properly and. You got to level up, and people want to watch you level up. Like they're
Yes.
like, "Oh, his shit's like different now," or
Yep.
like he's putting money into it. Like certain things, if it's just me making fun of, Trudeau, it looks good when it's low budget.
Yeah.
right. It's fun. That's the
But
humor.
people notice. They see your pod.
But when
they
I'm
see
doing
it.
the pod and they
Yep.
notice and like, yo, this is actually watchable now. Like,
Yep.
this guy's like got 3 cameras and crazy shit happening. Like people appreciate it, and that's something that for people who are trying to get started, they get nervous and stuff. It's like people appreciate when you're trying though, like
Yes,
more than
yes.
you. Like there's podcasts out there that have like 100 viewers, and those 100 people watch it every fucking
Yep.
week,
Yep.
and it's just like, it is what it is. It's embarrassing, It's not cool to have a podcast with 100 views and the same. But that's just how shit starts. Like,
Yes. And
you
people
know?
want to see you kind of start at the bottom of it too.
yeah.
And then
Well, they want to
slowly
follow
grow
the
up.
journey.
Yeah.
And I think being like humble obviously is important, and I think the way I do that is just like by not like taking anything too seriously. Just I have my own shit, like everybody has it. Like I said, my mom has dementia, like certain things, like you know, oh, somebody's like, oh, this guy sucks at comedy. You think I give a fuck about that? Especially because I bought a Mustang and I just drive in it, and I'm just like, I don't care what you think now.
Was that your first purchase?
That kind of actually, yeah.
The Mustang?
Yeah, I'll break the news here first.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Well, I just didn't like. I don't want to brag about it to my fans because then they'll be like, I'm unsubscribing from Patreon.
Yeah, he got a Mustang.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like, it's not even that crazy. You know what I mean?
That's like your first big purchase though?
Like ever?
From comedy?
Comedy, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Congrats.
It was kind of sick. It was
there
fun.
you go. I got to see you in this Mustang.
Yeah,
You'll fucking die, bro.
We'll go for a rip. But I'm just saying that like
you have the
you
pride
kind of
flag
have
on
to
it or
do
no?
that. Yeah, I have a pride flag.
Proper.
It's
Make
sure. It's matte pride color.
It's Matt Pride is crazy.
It's Matt Pride. Eh?
Matt Pride sounds like a bro that you'd hang out with. You know Matt
Pride?
Pride?
Yo, you know Matt Pride, no? Sounds like a nightclub promoter kind of.
Yeah, Matt Pride.
Yeah.
No, but I think you do have to you have to celebrate your wins too. Like you can't
Yes.
just be super. Some people are just, you know, if you're just hoarding your money and not even like trying to like, I think that like that goes a long way to have a car that you like or something, whatever is important to you.
Yes.
Maybe you don't like cars and you have money. You're like, I don't give a fuck about cars. Okay, then buy something that you like.
Yeah.
New computer, new fucking treadmill in your house, Peloton. I don't know. I don't know any of those things. I want a Peloton, actually. That's my next thing. Because I'm fucking morbidly obese. That's what fat guys do, by the way. They don't go to the gym. They're just like, I'll just buy a sports car that I barely fit in.
Yeah.
And I'll just fall into it. And that's going to be sexy.
What color is it though, actually?
It's
red?
like, no, it's like, what's it called? Dark matter gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dark matter gray?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's a special gray.
Sounds like a race.
Yeah.
That's like the Mexican alien race.
So what do you got like planned next? What's next for you? Next couple months?
I have a lot of shit coming up. When's this releasing? What date's this releasing?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
No, I'm just
Monday.
kidding.
Oh,
No,
shit,
no.
okay.
It's Monday. It's Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
So October 11th. So 2 days from now, I'll be in Halifax. I have 2 shows. First show sold out. Hopefully the second show sells out. We're pretty close to that. It's not big. It's like each show's like 100 people.
Sick.
But it is what it is.
Yep.
It's Halifax. I've never been there.
Okay.
And even with Schulz, you think about Schulz selling out the stadium. How many times did he come to Toronto though
Of course.
kill
Hundreds maybe.
for
no?
smaller audiences and like, you know, at Yucks over and over, and then he got to the next stage, which was like
Dude, he's
2000,
been coming
2000,
here
yeah.
Danforth
for like
Music
7
Hall.
years, 8
Yeah.
years.
So it takes a long time. You don't just show up unless you're like some mega Matt Rife mega star where you just show up and you're like, oh, here I am.
Yeah.
And you're selling out a stadium.
You
So
think he's
but
funny?
even Matt Rife isn't selling out stadiums yet. He's still he's doing big theaters, but he's not selling out stadiums.
What's that, like 3,000-4,000 people? 5,000?
Some of them probably, yeah. Some of them are probably like 1,500 maybe.
True.
Is Matt Rife funny? Yes, he is funny. He's just it's a different. It's not like it's not your guys' humor per se. But if you saw him live, you'd be like, you know what, that was cool. And
Yeah.
you know, he's a good looking guy. He's capped. You know, even if you're fucking straight, you're like, okay, I can look at this
Yeah,
fucking
he's a
guy.
good
You know,
looking
him
dude,
fagging secretly, whatever. No, but he does like a lot of guys like him now. Like he kind of is smart. He's like because girls will be like, I want to see Matt Rife, bought tickets, take their boyfriend. Then the boyfriend's like, you know what? It wasn't bad,
wasn't that
bro.
bad, yeah.
It wasn't, see Matt Rife. It wasn't bad.
I think Joe Rogan said. I think he said it's harder to be a comedian when you're good looking.
It is in some ways. And I mean, that's why I'm fat.
Well, he's even
But,
saying like a 10 out of 10 like woman, you know, coming up there.
Yes.
No one's gonna like.
Yeah, there has to be
They're
something
looking
a
at
little
her.
off. I want to be thin. But me, thin is still not Matt Rife. Like
Yeah.
he's obviously a good looking guy.
You're like Matt Pride.
I mean, but I
at
could
that
be
point.
honestly. I could, yeah, Matt Pride. Honestly,
If
when
you
I
lost 100 pounds, you'd be Matt
dude,
Pride.
if I lost 100 pounds, you guys would be like, hey, you look fucking. You're actually quite good looking.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like I'm fat as fuck right now, so I
Yeah.
look like garbage. But but I'm going to Halifax and I'm gonna go have lobster there because apparently lobster's really
That's
good.
where it's at.
St. John's, Newfoundland,
Sick.
Cool.
the 12th of October. Then I'm doing an October extravaganza in Toronto, big show.
Sick.
Where we're gonna have Olivia Chow, Teresa Tam, Justin Trudeau,
Oh, I saw
Pierre
that.
Paul
It's the
Revere.
Halloween one, right?
Halloween extravaganza.
Dude,
It's
we gotta
on
go.
Halloween.
We gotta go.
Where's
We
that
gotta
at?
go.
It's at Yuck Yucks.
Sick.
It's October 31st at Yuck Yucks. It's gonna be like a stand-up show, but also like just possibly some very racist costumes. And November, I'm going to fucking Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Victoria, BC, Surrey, BC, Vancouver, BC, Edmonton, Calgary, and I think hopefully that's it.
True. BC
Then I'll
loves
come
you,
home.
eh?
I like BC. BC is actually really cool. Like people like want to think BC's woke or whatever. It's like, yeah, they have their population. Part of them is just people from Ontario move there.
True.
Or woke.
Yeah.
But people from BC, especially when you leave Vancouver, like you go to interior BC, people are like, fucking right, buddy. I'm from fucking like it's like the jungle there.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy in the mountains. I did a tour of that this summer. Went to Salmon Arm, Castlegar, and Cranbrook, and
I don't
it's
even know
just
what
like
the fuck those are.
it's basically they're like almost bordering Washington State. It's like right along the southern border of BC, and there's all these little towns in the mountains. And it's like they're
Sick.
super picturesque. But people there are just fucking like, oh yeah, buddy, fuck, we ate Trudeau, or you know, it's like hardcore. It's almost it's like Alberta with mountains, really.
True.
A lot of BC's like that, and then
The woke
there-
shit's just in the big cities, bro.
it is.
I
yeah.
really.
I don't know anyone that likes Trudeau. Sorry, just to
That's
go there
true.
quick.
Oh, Winnipeg. I think I mentioned that, but they just elected NDP.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, they did.
But it's a native guy. Good for him. He's like one of the first NDP, like native
NDPs
or
or
native NDP NPCs. Yeah, no. Apparently he's celebrating he's actually just drunk in the lobby of a Scotiabank right now. No, I'm just kidding. Passed out. That's awful. I'm joking, but no, he. Good for him. He's the first native guy doing that. So, but we're coming to Winnipeg and we're gonna make fun of him, and it's gonna be great.
Sick.
So, I appreciate you guys having me on. By the way,
No, man, it's a pleasure.
We gotta ask you
bro.
one more question though.
Yeah, fuck. I feel like we've been forgetting to ask this recently.
I think so.
We're the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. So now
Yes.
that you've got your Matt Pride Mustang,
Yeah.
do you believe money buys happiness?
No, but it definitely helps. Obviously, like no questions asked. You can never like buy your way out of feeling bad or sad, but if you're like, it's like that saying. It's like I'd rather cry in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini than cry in a fucking Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of raises your baseline. Like at first it's always sick when you buy new things or whatever, but then eventually you get used to them. But that's why you have to like, I journal. I try to remind myself like this is sick. Like, you know what I mean? Stay grounded.
True.
Focus on what's next.
Oh, you're a journal guy, eh?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Attaboy.
It's a comedy thing. Like it's not
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
I don't really like doing it.
You know, like spiritual
that much.
shit.
No, it's like it, but it is. It's every single comedian that I looked up to when I was coming up did this. Like a lot of, you know, I don't know, like fucking Carlin, and then like more recently Joey Diaz was like a big proponent of like journaling,
Legend,
like for
yeah.
mental health, and like staying on track and
Being
shit, holding
grateful.
yourself accountable.
Yep.
It's important to talk to yourself sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you just, apparently the most intellectual people just talk to themselves, have conversations with
I
themselves.
believe
so.
it.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. If you could open, because we're going to try and manifest it. If you could open for anybody.
Yeah, let's manifest a few things at the
Let's
end
do
of
it.
this.
Yeah. If you could open for anybody, who would it be?
Anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I can give just a direct answer for that, but like the funny thing about Schulz showing up to my show is like technically he opened for me.
Yes.
You hear that? You hear that, bro?
So, because I messaged Tim Dillon
Okay.
and
Legend.
You give me like I think you'd be a good opener for Tim Dillon.
I thought so.
Yes.
So I kind of I met him a few times in like when he came to shows and was like, yo, like I used to sell photocopiers too. Like I was kind of more novice, like kind of like fangirling out a bit, fanboying. And I was like, whatever. And then we met and I was like, I know Aaron Berg, like he knew some mutuals. Like I was like, oh, that's sick. And you know, like over DM like a few times, I was like, yo, can I open for you at like JFL last year, JFL 42? And he was like, I'm like, they won't fucking put me in the festival. He's like, you're not allowed at the festival. Why would I let you open for me? Kind of thing. And I was like, okay, that's funny, whatever. Yeah. But I would always be like, he would always, like, he's a big food guy. I'd be like, yo, check out this restaurant. Like some rich guy would take me to some restaurant and be like, yo, I'll suggest that. But then recently I was like, yo, like December 9th, he's doing Meridian Hall. And I messaged him like, bro, like I've had some theaters like cancel on me. Like, would you like let me open for you? Like I said some gay message. It was probably stupid. I probably shouldn't have sent it to him, but he literally replied and was like, please never message me ever again or something like that. I was a little, at first I was like brokenhearted.
Yeah.
Cause I've been a fan of his for like 6 years, like some crazy amount of time.
Yeah.
Or like since his podcasts were getting like 40,000 views.
Yeah.
And like I got turned on to them, I think by Rogan mentioned him like at the beginning of that. And, or whatever it was. But yeah, I was like, fuck, that sucks. But then I realized, like, I don't want to fucking open for any of these guys. Like, that's actually kind of been my mentality recently. I'm like, fuck opening. Like, I see a lot of these guys that are like, oh, I'm opening for this guy. And, you know, I don't want to, there's a couple, Nima Naz. He's always opening for somebody.
Shout out Nima.
The Russell Peters one.
Opening for Good Life. He's closing Good Life.
Damn,
No. I used to make fun of Nima because I used to do comedy with him before he was big or famous or whatever, and
so
I would always he'd wear like a sweat outfit. I'm like, Nima looks like the guy who works at Good Life but never uses the free membership. But I like Nima. But
so
he's
Tim Dillon told you never message me again.
Yeah.
Like seriously though. Like,
yeah. He's just like, please never message me ever again.
Even please too, eh? Even
yeah. He was polite about it. I thought that's funny. Like in a way, that's kind of cool. But like, I kind of get it. These guys don't. I don't know. Like, I don't want to. One of my friends was like, they're fucking worried about you, bro. Like they're kind of like.
I'm like,
I don't know if it's that, but maybe it is. But it's just reluctance. I think maybe it's because I'm Canadian too. Like
True.
if I was American and had the same kind of thing going on, maybe it would be different. But yeah, there's kind of, I've realized I don't want to open for anybody. I just want to, like, my goal has always been stadiums. Like I know Andrew Schulz said he wants to do play where the Raptors play. Well, I want to play where the Knicks play.
Yeah,
So,
let's fucking go.
let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
fucking go.
And straight up, I'll call out Andrew Schulz. Like, I know it's probably not his fault, and it's just a parallel thought. And honestly, it's been a running joke for years. But his Just Tinder joke that just went viral.
Yeah.
I did a Just Tinder Trudinder. That was my joke for years.
No.
Damn.
From 2020 to like 2021 and a half after I released my special. It's on my special.
So is he stealing your jokes?
I mean, I don't want to go as far to accuse that. Like, I hopefully it's just a parallel thought. I mean, it would be kind of weird if he came on my show and then looked me up and watched my special from 3 years ago and took that one line. Like, I'd honestly, if he did that, I'd be flattered in a way.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's kind of.
I would be like, yo, that's sick. Like, the way I look at it is like, at least my joke or that punchline works at the
That
ACC.
level. Yeah, that level.
Right? So it's kind of reassuring for me. But I did do a Just Tinder Trudeau. I used to have a joke where I was like,
Just Tinder.
Trudeau is, he's like trans Indian, where he's like, he should just change his name to Just Tinder Trudinder or whatever.
Trans Indian is fucked.
Yeah. Well, he kind of is. He dresses up like an Indian all the time. But if I were to open for anybody, like, they're all dead, I think. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Norm Macdonald or Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Yeah.
He's
going back at it.
although he's like a purist, so I don't know if he would like me or like hang out with me, or because his openers are like Joe List, who I opened for Joe List this year. So that was kind of cool. Joe List. I opened for my friend made a video of that. He's like, you open for the opener of the open.
That's fucked.
You open for a guy who opened for a guy.
But where the Knicks play?
Yeah. Knicks play, I'd say that's a manifest. Astros,
Okay.
Sick.
like
H-Town.
Andrew Schulz is bragging about doing the stadium in Toronto. It's like, bro, you just paid 35% tax to come do that.
That's also true.
Like, if you're American, like, it's like, okay, so he made 500 G's minus 35%, minus this, minus it's I mean,
You made 40
it's
bucks.
sick what he, I fucking, again, I love what he does, but there's always somebody got to be yapping.
Yeah. True.
I'm just yapping.
Just keep yapping.
But it is fucked up that Americans get to, the trade-off is, I can go to the States and pay the tax you pay, but I have to go through a process and pay maybe $20,000 to get my visa.
Yeah.
But for them, they don't need a visa. They can just come here, do a show. I think if they're doing less than like 10 shows or something in Canada, you don't need a visa. So they never do more than that without going back first.
Yeah.
And then go back.
True.
Okay.
So it's like, don't quote me on that, but I think it's like there's some number of or days that you're touring or something like that. If you're American, you can just come here, but you have to pay like a 30% or 35% tax, I think. But there's probably ways around it.
Yeah.
But either way, Americans are gonna love it when I go down there, and that's my manifest is that, you know, I want to blow everybody out of the water, and Schulz is the one who actually inspired me to do that because he was the one who said on a podcast that you have to want to take over the world if you want to do comedy. You can't just be like, oh, I'm happy making a living, or I want to make a living. I don't want to. That's why eventually you make a little bit of money. You should be like, oh, money, yeah, this doesn't matter. It doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy is making more, not because the money is there and because I love money, but because it's an accomplishment.
It's the chase.
It's
the
the
fucking
chase.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game.
It's always the chase for us.
Yeah.
It's always a fucking chase.
We gonna
Your
keep
podcast
chasing.
should be fucking, we need a podcast in Canada that's actually popular. Now they're trying to regulate podcasts. Nobody even has a podcast that's popular to fucking regulate.
Yeah,
What are they regulating? CBC podcasts that nobody fucking listens to?
No, that's just a joke.
Anyway.
Yo, listen, man. Thank you so
My
much
guy.
for coming, bro.
Thank you guys.
It's a
Appreciate
pleasure.
you guys.
Dean.
Appreciate it.